Good evening, friends. So today is the sixth day, sixth session of the workshop, and today we are going to discuss on the research approaches. Although this topic is not very popular, but I have seen some theses where they are asking about to the research approaches that what research approach you are adopting. So according to my experience, the research approaches can be divided into different categories. The first category of research approaches is quantitative research approach, qualitative research approach, and mixed method approach. Quantitative research approach is the approach when you are collecting the evidences from the data. Collecting the evidences from the data means you already decided the hypothesis, or you are going to do some experimental studies and also testing the hypothesis. And the process of hypothesis testing is with the help of data. So whether the data is primary or secondary, that doesn't matter. Data could be primary or secondary. But hypothesis testing is through with the data, and you arrive at a conclusion on the basis of that. So this approach is quantitative approach. So both descriptive and experimental research design comes in quantitative approach. The second approach is qualitative approach. In qualitative approach, you are not collecting the quantitative data. You are collecting the data only in the format of qualitative data. So qualitative data means the text, images, or social media data, picture, audio, video, like that. So in qualitative approach, kind of exploratory study you are conducting. And nowadays, some universities, you may be surprised to know, some of the universities focuses more on qualitative research as compared to quantitative research. So in the last 3 years, I found then whenever you are conducting research, the university pressurize you to go for qualitative research. So qualitative research design is similar to exploratory research design, but it is slightly different from there. So today we will discuss on the qualitative research design because quantitative we already discussed. And in qualitative research design, if you want to continue with the empirical study, means you started with qualitative, and at the end of the qualitative, you came out with the conceptual framework or some theoretical framework. Normally, we call it conceptual framework. So, qualitative study gives you, or in qualitative study, you proposed a framework to be tested further. So, when you also test the framework with the help of data, then this is called mixed method approach. So, mixed method approach is a combination of qualitative plus or followed by quantitative. Qualitative followed by quantitative. And this mixed method approach is the most popular, reputed, and reliable approach to be conducted. If you meet the researchers in other countries, foreign countries, they give more value to the mixed method approach as compared to only qualitative or only quantitative approach. So mixed method approach is very having a lot of reputation. So first of all, you do qualitative and then it is followed by quantitative. It is called mixed method approach. So these are the three approaches of research, conducting the research. On the other side, we also have two approaches: deductive reasoning approach and inductive reasoning approach. So these two words are very famous. So deductive reasoning approach means you know that there are two type of research problems. We normally divide research problems into two categories. The first category of the research problem is to modify a theory or giving a value to the theory. So when you focuses on adding some value to the theory, then theory comes in the center and you want to add something into it. So this approach I count in deductive reasoning because sometimes you are applying the theory on some new product, new phenomena. So applying the old theory on a new phenomena is known as deductive reasoning. For example, there is a theory known as the technology acceptance model. The theory is already there, and the advanced format of this theory is UTET model, Unified Theory of Technology Acceptance. So the theory is in general and is not based on any specific product. So theory say that if you want to understand the adoption behavior of consumer for a new technology, you can read this theory. Now somebody want to study the adoption behavior of electric cars, electric vehicle. So adoption of electric vehicle is a specific example or phenomena, and you want to apply whether the UTET model is working on electric vehicles or not. So in the research, your point of view is that whether the theory is applicable on electric vehicle or not. So theory is already there, hypothesis is already there, and you want to confirm, your objective is to confirm whether the old theory is applicable on my new product or not. And for adding value, you can add some construct in the old theory. So every theory say that these are the basic factors and you can add new factors according to the product or technology. So this kind of approach, when you started with a theory and want to apply on a new product or a new phenomena, this approach is called deductive reasoning approach. So I am giving you one example of that. So this is a model, and this model is known as value addition model. So value addition model. So it is actually, first of all, the TAM theory came, technology acceptance model. Then it was replaced by UTET model. And now UTET model is further replaced by, I'm not saying replaced by, but it is a new phenomena. This is called VAM model, TAM model, UTET model, and now it is a VAM, value addition model. So in this model, the uh, basic is the consumer adopt that product or technology where perceived value is positive. This is the base, this is the logic of the model. So it is a basic model. So this model say that the perceived value of adopting any technology depends upon its benefits and sacrifices. देखिए मार्केट में एक कंसेप्ट होता है यूटिलिटी. The concept is, the basic concept is utility. Means whatever benefits you are getting, and whatever cost you are paying, if the benefits are more than the cost, then you will adopt, otherwise not. Right. So on this premises, this model is based. So how much benefit you are getting and how much you are paying, on the basis of that, your perceived value is calculated, and perceived value leads to intention to use technology. And this is a new model, new factor you can add in theory. Now, I'm giving you one example. Suppose you want to apply this theory on electric vehicle. So in this case, the perceived intention to use electric vehicle, this is the dependent variable, and this is perceived value, is it is as it is. Now you have to find out the what is the benefit of using or adopting electric vehicle. So one of the benefit is the uh, the fuel consumption is less, then fuel economy is there, government subsidy is there. So you can find out the different benefits. And the sacrifices is that the uncertainty of the charging. So like that. So you will find out the benefits and the sacrifices and run a model on this. So I'm giving you a new idea of doing research, of deductive approach. So theory is already there, and you can start with a new product. The new product may be artificial intelligence, the chatbot, the electric vehicle, or robotics. So any new technology which is coming out. So if we think from the broad perspective, the theory is already there, and you are going to apply on a new product, new technology. So in one sense, we can say we are confirming that this theory is applicable on the product. कहीं ना कहीं हमारे दिमाग में ये है कि ये थ्योरी इस प्रोडक्ट पे भी अप्लाई होती है. So we have a premises that this theory is applicable on this product. So this kind of premises is known as deductive reasoning approach. So deductive reasoning approach is a logical process of deriving a conclusion from a known premise. Known premise means theory or something known to be true. So this approach is very popular approach in enhancement of a theory or testing of a existing theory. So we are testing a known theory. So you first of all you pick the theory, then from the theory you derive the hypothesis and collect the data and test it and confirm whether the hypothesis is there or not. So most of the research, most of the PhD basically are based on deductive reasoning approach. You already have a theory, and there are 7 or 8 theories which are very popular, like I'm just naming them: theory of planned behavior, theory of reasoned action, then user gratification theory, PAN theory, then UTED theory, and SOR theory, stimulus organism response theory. So some of the theories are very popular. Every theory is explaining a different kind of behavior. So whatever research problem you have to find out this most suitable theory for your problem. After finding the most suitable theory, then you make the hypothesis and test it. So this approach is overall called deductive reasoning approach. On the other side, the theory is not there. The kind of problem you are taking, the kind of problem you are taking is a completely new. So what happens? The society is changing very fast. So every day some new concept came. So like the work from home concept came after pandemic. Online teaching concept came after pandemic. Similarly, AI, machine learning. In There is a word, I don't know whether you have heard it or not, peacocking. It's a new concept. Then brand fidelity, new concept. So sometimes some new concept came. And when you want to study on these new concepts, so the basic problem you found is that theory is absent. So there is no theory explaining that kind of behavior. So when you want to study the new phenomena and theory is not there, so this approach is known as inductive रीजनिंग अप्रोच. हम एक नई प्रॉब्लम का हल निकालते हैं. So this is the second type of research that is called problem solving research. So for पहली टाइप की रिसर्च थी theory enhancement research. The second type of research is problem solving research. So this kind of research is not based on any existing theory. Rather, you are developing a new theory. Or one thing which I want to tell you, if you go to a star publication, they don't focus on the technique, they focus on the theory development. जैसे जैसे आप रिसर्च जर्नल की क्वालिटी बढ़ाते जाएंगे, you will feel they are focusing on the theory development rather than theory testing. So if I ask you that which kind of approach is more important, deductive approach or inductive approach? So deductive approach is just like कि आपने एक सब्जी बनी हुई थी उसमें तड़का मार दिया और नई बना दी. So this is called deductive approach. Inductive approach is you are completely developing a new dish. तो देखिए दोनों अप्रोच में डिफरेंट है. So inductive approach is a kind of developing something new. This is called knowledge creation. You are creating some new knowledge. तो किसकी वैल्यू ज्यादा है? Which approach is more valuable? The answer is that inductive reasoning. So inductive reasoning approach is highly valued research as compared to deductive reasoning approach. And in India, inductive reasoning approach is rare. Is very rare. People don't know how to actually conduct the inductive reasoning approach. And the basic difficulty is finding out the new phenomena. Finding out the new phenomena. Like I'm giving you one example. There is a word called brand fidelity. So what is brand fidelity? This is called brand addiction. पहले वर्ड आता था brand loyalty, brand love, brand image, like that. Now they are talking about brand fidelity, means how the addiction of a brand can be defined. Like for example, if somebody used iPhone, it is very difficult for him to use any other phone because there is an addiction of that brand. Similarly, in almost every area, in every category, there are some brands which are very reputed kind of brand. Like for example, if you buy jewelry from Tanishq, it is very difficult for you to go to other brand after that. So like that. So brand fidelity is a new phenomena. So people are doing research on that. Then there is a term called peacocking. Peacocking matlab कि when a person who is the habit of work from home. हम लोगों को बहुत सारे लोगों को work from home पे करने की आदत है. So those people who are doing work from home and suddenly they join the company, and when the company call back to the office, so now they require different kind of environment. So this concept, the new environment which is more suitable for the people who are in habit of doing work from home is called peacocking. Peacock होता ना, peacocking उसको कर दिया. So these are the new concepts. So whenever the new concepts are coming, you have to explore those concepts and develop a new theory on the basis of your observation. And developing the new theory, this approach is called inductive reasoning approach. And this can be done with the help of qualitative approach, which is the topic for today. तो आज हम क्वालिटेटिव पे फोकस करता है. So inductive reasoning is entirely based on qualitative research approach. So these are the different approaches which we already discussed. So I just from the beginning. So we have quantitative, descriptive or experimental, qualitative, inductive approach, mixed method, combination of both. And deductive reasoning, inductive reasoning, I already explained. When you are working on existing theory, you want to confirm that on a new product or a new phenomena, then it is called deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning means when you are completely developing a new concept. And I'm with this regard, I'm telling you there is a concept, there is a place in California that is called Silicon Valley. And in Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley in the globe, in the world, is famous for creating new ideas and new concepts. So they are analyzing the existing and they are focusing on developing entirely new concepts. So जितने भी टेक्नोलॉजिकल स्टार्टअप्स और आइडियाज मैक्सिमम आते हैं सिलिकॉन वैली से आते हैं. So this approach we can also follow in the research day-to-day life. So that is called inductive approach, very difficult and it requires a very open kind of mindset. Fine. So now the how to conduct inductive approach is the focus for today. So qualitative research, I'm going to discuss that what kind of research we can do. So qualitative research always started with a problem, or you can say it started with a research question. Like there are many questions which comes in my mind. For example, I have seen many students who take a drop from the 12th class, and even after taking a drop, they are not selected in the exam. So I have seen many students take drop after 12th class, but still failed in the exam. They don't qualify NEET or JI. So I conducted a small research on that. That what is the reason? What is the reason that taking a risk of 1 year, still they are not selecting in exams? And many students who are they just crack with 12th, so no need of drop. So the point is that if you look around yourself, around you in the society, you can find out many phenomena. I even think why some people promote fast in the career and why people don't promote even in the whole career. I have seen many people who retired as an assistant professor, and I have seen who are in 30s and they are professor. So there are many things which comes in my mind, and they are in front of you, around you, right? So the questions comes first. The research question comes first, and to solve the research question, you collect the data, and data is collected from unstructured format. Like you can take the interviews of the expert, you can collect the images, songs, audio, tweet, social media. These are the different type of data which you can collect from different sources. Recently, I met a researcher who is a political researcher. And what he is doing at the time of election, he is conducting a research that what public wants and why public is giving vote to a certain party and not giving vote to a certain party. And this research entirely depends upon new concept because every election is based on different kind of themes. So they collect the data in the format of interviews. They collect the data from social media like YouTube, and on the basis of their research, they came to the conclusion. So it is pure qualitative research, and data is collected from interviews, your observation, focus group. Focus group means discussion with a small group, and content analysis of newspapers, books, video, case records, and other already developed documents. Sometimes we collect it from the news. Like, for example, recently one scholar asked me, Sir, I am from law background, and my college made mandatory to publish at least one paper in Scopus every year. Otherwise, they will not keep those faculties who are not publishing. Now, the problem is that what kind of topic I should take? The problem is that. So I suggest her that because you are in law, you are having law background, and I don't know what is new in the law. It is very difficult for me to identify that what is new in the law. So I asked her to find out some topic which is new and have some legal aspect. And I said that find out from the magazines and newspaper. Don't see the research paper because they are old. So after one day, she told me that some sir, nowadays deep fake is a new controversy in the legal world. Everybody, starting from the prime minister to the different people, are talking about the deep fake videos. And I think research is required in this case. I said yes, good topic because it is a new concept, deep fake video. Its repercussions, problems, right? So we decided to start the qualitative research on deep fake videos, problems and solutions. So because this topic is entirely new, so we decided to take the data from newspaper because there is a lot of news published on this concept. And so we collected almost 100 news on deepfake and we start doing the research on it. So it is purely qualitative. So similarly, you may belong to different areas. So you have to find out the latest issues in your area and find out that how these new issues can be addressed. It can be addressed by taking interviews. It can be addressed by taking newspapers or magazines like that. Or social media is always talk about the new concept. So in qualitative research, we never test the hypothesis or we don't test the previous theories. So we don't touch hypothesis and theories. Rather, we are developing the new theory. So this approach of finding out a new concept and develop a new theory on that is called grounded theory approach. And nowadays we are working on many projects. बहुत सारे project हमारे चल रहे हैं which are entirely based on grounded theory approach. So grounded theory approach is the new approach where we identify the new issues, collect data related to that new issue, and finding out a conclusion or summary of that. We never try to generalize our findings, rather we propose the findings. So we answer the research questions. There is no experiment in qualitative research. We try to understand the perception, action, feeling of participant, and we obtain detailed information. And the main point is that we develop a new theory, propose conceptual framework, and test the framework empirically. That is a mixed method approach. So this is the kind of mindset we must have in qualitative research. So in qualitative research, so these are some of the technical words which let me explain. So first is grounded theory approach, ethnography, phenomenology, field research, narratives, thematic content, sentiment, text mining, image analytics. So first of all, let me explain these five. Thematic analysis is making a summary from the text data. Whenever you are working on the text data, like 100 news, 100 reports, interviews, so presenting the main information in those data set is known as thematic analysis. So thematic analysis is just similar to preparing the notes, presenting them in a structured format. So that is called thematic analysis. Content analysis is counting and rating of the content in the text data. Thematic are themes are the broad aspect, content are the minute aspect. Like whenever you saw some advertisement, so you have to find out that this advertisement have celebrity, product, image, punchline, song, like that. So these are the content. So content in the document. Like if I ask you that what are the different content in the research paper? So research paper have 4 or 5 content: the research problem, objective, literature review, research methodology, data analysis, conclusion, implication. So these are the content. So content analysis, sentiment analysis. Now you know that everybody is talking about sentiment analysis and people are doing research on it. So earlier sentiment analysis was done by Twitter data on Twitter data. Now they are doing, because Twitter already denied to provide free data. So now the people are shifting from Twitter to Google Trend. So there is a website called Google Trend. And Google Trend is one of the source where you can study the sentiment of a public about any topic. So now Google is starting calculating the sentiment. So that is called sentiment analysis. Similarly, different researchers develop their own index. I have seen one mood index. So some researcher developed the mood index that is showing you the sentiment of the stock market. Similarly, text mining, the mining of the text, image analytics, analyzing the images, predicting the images, or categorization of the images. So these are the comes in qualitative research design, but now we are focusing on the methods. So the first method, which is very popular and the basic of all qualitative research, is grounded theory approach. So in grounded theory approach, so I'm giving you the example. So the with the law scholar, we decided to start a study on deep fake video. So we started with a problem. The problem is that the kind of threat posed by deep fake videos and its possible remedies and solution, like that. So this is a raw kind of research question, which is the basic question we have. Just for example, in another study, some researcher come to me and said, "Sir, I want to develop a theory on trade show marketing." So you are aware about the trade shows, the Pragati Maidan in Delhi and Expo in Greater Noida. So these are the famous places for trade shows. So the scholar want to develop a theory on trade show marketing. So which kind of marketing is required in trade shows? And because in trade shows, altogether different kind of marketing is required. So the scholar is interested in developing a new concept, new model of trade show marketing. So we decided to start with this problem. Although this problem is already done, PhD submitted and all. So these kind of problems we can take up, totally new kind of problems. So we identify the new trend, new patterns and behavior. Like work from home is new. Then, so if you read the newspapers, so they are coming with the new jargons, new keywords. So we have to identify these new keywords and think whether it is having publication potential or not. So this is important. Identify the new trends, new patterns, and new behavior. After that, we collect the qualitative data. So if the problem is very new, you can collect the news. Like in deepfakes, we and the research entirely depend upon the news. Or you can also collect the data from the interviews. So after collecting the qualitative data, so we do the basic text mining and coding process. So coding process is a kind of identifying the important keywords and the statement in the document. Then we proposed a conceptual framework. Every grounded theory approach must end with a new conceptual framework. And then you can test the framework with quantitative data and hypothesis testing. Like I'm giving you one example. So whenever you are writing a grounded theory approach based paper, so like this paper is based on grounded theory approach, the workplace change within the COVID-19 context, a grounded theory approach. So there are two main outcome of any research based on grounded theory. Number one, you have to find out some notes. These are known as important themes, and these are the description of the themes. So you have to find out the important themes, important keywords, and then try to find out a relationship between them. So you can see that this diagram is known as theoretical framework. So every grounded theory approach must end with this framework. So most of the theories are developed from this route. The theoretical framework is the most important outcome of the grounded theory approach. So we started with a problem, we find out the conclusions, summary, and develop a framework. So this approach is and in framework. Now you can adopt the mixed method approach to test further. आप इसको further test कर सकते हैं data collect करके. So similarly, if I conclude this is the flow chart of grounded theory approach. So collect data, form concept from data, group categories, identify relationship between categories. So grounded theory approach is a research method concerned with the generation of theory, or I call it knowledge creation, generation of theory, which is grounded in data that has been systematically collected and analyzed. Create a theory on the basis of people experience, not from the textbook. Help in defining the new observed phenomena. Or to conduct a grounded theory approach, you require a strong gut feeling on that area. Otherwise, it is very difficult to develop a new theory. So after that, we are having the concept called ethnography. The ethnography is a very popular word especially in social science. Ethnography is talking about a culture or a community or a organization. Uh, Community, for example, community means doctors community. Doctors community is a community. Army community. Similarly, TikTok community. So community is a kind of homogeneous group which are having similar features. So like we can say army is a community. Then we can say the doctor community, teacher community. So because this community is totally different from other police community. Culture means the culture like Bengali culture, Punjabi culture, then South Indian culture. So these are the culture. Culture is area specific. Culture is related to some area like Punjab in Punjabi culture. In Europe, it is European culture. Rajasthan, Rajput culture. So culture is depends upon the area and organization. Sometimes we want to study the organization, like you want to study the aims, or let's say IIT, IM. So these are also the organization. Like if you want to study IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Bangalore, IIT Delhi. So these are organization. Maybe some other organization like Google is an organization, Amazon. People talk about the Tata culture. So when you want to study the culture, the organization, or a community, this is called the ethnography. And what we include in ethnography, we include the how they celebrate the rituals in culture, celebration of a birth of a child, marriage, death. So these are the rituals. So how they celebrate the rituals, you have to go there and attend those rituals, see those rituals. Then religion, their religion, religious books. So all these things you need to study, their behavior. So their do and don'ts. Every culture has do and don't. Like in our culture, we never eat beef, you know that. So the culture. So there are many do and don'ts in the culture. So when you study the ethnography, you have to study all these things. They're positive, they're negative. And whenever a company want to open a or offer a product in the new area, so they should be very, very sensitive toward the culture. Otherwise, their product will be a big flop. There are many case studies about the culture mismatch. So in ethnography, we conducted the formal interviews. So what we included in this, I just mentioned how we conduct ethnography. Formal interviews comes give you transcripts. Informal interviews, field notes, participant observations, collecting text, collecting images. So all these things comes in ethnography. These kind of data are included in ethnography. So I'm showing you some of the papers which are based on ethnography. So when the machine made the expert and ethnography of developing AI for hiring, tourism, heritage and culture.